He was holding his breath, choking for like 15, 20 seconds at a time. So he's like laying back like,
Jesus, you weren't gonna let me put my nose on it?
No, don't touch that thing. If that's been anywhere in a gay's mouth or nose, don't
he
near
is.
you. I wouldn't go near that thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't go near it. It's Gabe's
Crazy
thing.
things.
Stay away.
Yeah.
We don't want to kill. We don't want to kill Post Malone.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the dangers of literally dying in your fucking sleep. Yes, I am saying this loud and clear to get your attention. This is serious shit. This is something that will slowly, insidiously debilitate your quality of life and then eventually result in some cardiac issue or something that kills you early, almost certainly. So in this podcast, Post Malone went on the Full Send podcast. And he's talking about his relationship with Justin Bieber. Preparing for the End of the World is the title. But something that caught my attention is his discussion of his sleep apnea. And he talks about it here, how he basically never wakes up refreshed, feels like, you know, perpetually tired, and thinks he needs a CPAP machine.
It feels like, I guess, going on tour, and I guess I just figured out if you have sleep apnea, you're really tired all the time during the day and shit, and you never wake up like fully refreshed. I think I might have to try it.
So here he is talking about a continuous positive airway pressure machine, also abbreviated as CPAP. And that is something that I use every single night and have used for years at this point. And it's something that has probably prevented me from having a heart attack. And I'm not kidding. We'll get into that shortly.
I wanted to get a sleep apnea machine.
I got one.
But you need a prescription. Can I hold yours for a minute?
I don't have it here, but I have it on my house.
I heard those things. Those things
it's
are
hard
nuts.
to sleep without it.
Is that the ventilator thing?
Yeah.
Does it change?
Yeah,
It's the thing that makes you look like fucking Bane when you put it on your face.
Yeah, so it does kind of make you look like, Darth Vader, Bane, whatever it is. Me and Joe Rogan actually talked about this when I was on the podcast.
if she wants to snuggle and you're over there like Darth Vader.
Yeah. But if you don't do that, then you're literally going to be choking in her face.
Right.
So you pick. And one of them kills you quick and one of them keeps you alive.
At this point, I feel it's probably a good idea to actually define what sleep apnea is for you guys who don't know. It is when you stop breathing for 10 seconds or more while you're asleep, and there's a similar disorder called hypoapnea, which is a partial loss of breath for 10 seconds or longer, and it's defined as, like sleep apnea is when you actually have 5 or more of these episodes of 10 seconds or more of no breathing per hour. So this is something that, every time you stop breathing and you're sleeping, you deprive your body and brain of oxygen, you're putting your body into a state of unnecessary stress and basically forcing your body into brain damage state, cardiotoxicity state, high blood pressure state. It's just so bad, and you have no idea it's happening oftentimes because it's happening while you're asleep. So even though you're asleep, your quality of sleep is so poor because you're constantly stopping breathing, basically almost getting to the point of passing out from oxygen deprivation, that your body shifts you into manually forcing you to gasp for air. And this can sometimes even result in you sitting up in your bed, gasping for air in the middle of the night when it gets so extreme. But oftentimes people with sleep apnea have no idea they have it because it's happening insidiously, multiple episodes per hour, just slowly destroying your heart, your brain. And when you wake up, your sleep quality is absolutely atrocious to where even though you slept for 8 hours, you did not get any good restful sleep. And you end up literally just sitting in class, whatever it is, at work, at the wheel, anything that could be dangerous too, horrible. There's arguably nothing worse than being this underslept while you're behind the wheel. And you, obviously, the individual dependent, context dependent, of course, that's variable, but literally when you're unconscious at the fucking wheel because you're asleep, that is a common scenario with people who are this underslept. I remember when I was in university and I had my sleep apnea first getting discovered. It was discovered as a result of a really aggressive dirty bulk phase where my neck size got to bigger than it's ever been. And I had the highest blood pressure and the worst metabolic health of my life, essentially. And I would literally sit down in class and within 1 minute start falling asleep. It was that bad. And we go into this in more detail in the Joe Rogan podcast. I think it's definitely worthwhile to watch because we both had our own ways of attenuating it.
What have you done for your sleep apnea?
CPAP.
Oh man, those things suck, don't they?
They're not very, like, they're kind of annoying to have to wear, but I'm so used to it at this point that it's just part of my routine. But
I have a mouthpiece that I wear that keeps my tongue from falling back. Like a lot of the thick neck guys like you.
Yeah.
What happens is your tongue like falls back because you have all this extra tissue around your neck. So your tongue will fall back and cover your air hole. That's why you choke and snore real loud. Well, this tongue depressor, it's like a mouthpiece and it holds my tongue down. So it keeps my airway open.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most overlooked silent killers of muscular guys.
Yes.
And fat people.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you don't even know you're getting fucked up in your sleep. And you wake up and you just feel terrible. Like, I used to go to university classes and sit there and not understand why I'd fall asleep after 5 minutes every day.
Right.
And the lecturer just thought I was a shitty student. But in reality, my sleep was just atrocious the entire time.
Yeah.
And the CPAP is a game changer for me because otherwise, I was getting, I don't know, like, I forget how many episodes of apneas I was having per hour, but it was exorbitant to the point that I probably would be dead by now if I didn't get a CPAP otherwise.
Yeah, that's your gift. Okay. This is sleep apnea.
This
This is for you. But it's
I love how stoked he is about this because this is like, when you're this like rich and successful, it's like not like what gets you going at this point. The guy's got fucking Bugatti, he's got, huge mansion probably. He's got the most success, the most, fame, everything you could ever want. And then he's like, holy shit, something that actually improves my quality of life and makes me healthier. He's fucking thrilled. Love to see it.
This is crazy.
Wait, you have a snoring problem?
No, I just wake up and I don't feel super refreshed and I'm constantly tired throughout the day.
So yes, this is a very common outcome, constantly tired throughout the day. Even if you sleep for 9 hours, 10 hours, it doesn't fucking matter because you are literally going to war in your sleep every night. Just trying to get into deep sleep, trying to get your high quality sleep in, and it's just not happening because your fucking body will not let you. You are literally choking slowly to death, essentially, while you sleep. It's like manual asphyxiation of your fucking throat. Like, you have your tongue dropping back, your throat itself is too large because you're muscular or slightly overweight or very overweight, whatever the case may be. Like, even if you're shredded, dude, this is something that can fuck you up too. How many bodybuilders have chronic, brutal sleep apnea? A lot. And here he has a nose mask that's actually the exact same nose mask that I use personally. And I also use a chin strap to keep my mouth shut because some people who are very prone and subconsciously mouth breathe, they will have this thing and it'll blow air through your nose. But if you mouth breathe normally and you're trying to encourage nasal breathing, your mouth will hang open while you sleep and all the air will escape out your mouth. So I used to use a full face mask and then I transitioned to the nose one to try and encourage better breathing habits. But some individuals with brutally deviated septums, harsh, turbinates that are always inflamed and they can barely get air through their nose. People with allergies, like, you may need a full face one, but this is, something that will be life-changing for him.
Hey, I heard it's bad for you if you don't have it. Maybe I should talk to a doctor though first.
It's not just bad for you. It will literally fucking kill you years in advance. Like, your quality of life right now compared to what it will be post CPAP, not even comparable. In addition, your heart health, your brain health, like, you're literally killing brain cells in your sleep right now.
I thought that was a snoring machine, Gabe.
So what happens is
Like a mirror XLR cable.
it's good.
It's actually a gaming machine.
Not the sleep apnea machine. No, it helps you. It just what it does oxygen. It pumps oxygen in you.
I thought it stopped.
I don't want to mislead.
Yeah, continuously pumps oxygen. It manually adjusts how much pressure is needed to based on what your needs are. And it tracks how many episodes you have per night, per hour. And it gives you a lot of feedback in terms of if you are improving or not. And it's a fucking game changer for guys who need it. And we even talk about like how weird or awkward it might be to have around chicks in the Joe Rogan podcast. Definitely recommend checking it out. And it's something that is, shouldn't be overlooked regardless of how, awkward you find it, how, weird it seems. Like, once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. Chicks don't care. And if you need it, like with Joe, he had the tongue depressor, which works for him. Some individuals need CPAP though. Some people, they will not get away with just having like taping their mouth shut or like doing, the tongue depressor thing. Some people need this machine and it will literally save your fucking life.
Anybody,
You'd be on that thing, huh?
What happens if you don't have sleep apnea and you use it?
It might be better. I heard LeBron James sleeps with it just to like get more.
I heard it's bad. I heard you need a prescription to get one because it's bad if you don't have it and you use it.
Oh, we don't want to mislead anybody then. We don't want to do that.
I actually have no idea, to be honest. I would assume that nothing would, I don't know what would happen that would be bad. Like if anything, it's just providing you air that you would have already had otherwise. So I don't see how it could be bad. I'm not necessarily saying it's useful though at all. So I don't know. That's an interesting conundrum though. The weird, crazy if LeBron, I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron fucking needs one though. The guy's got a huge neck, I'm sure.
Expensive and insurance will cover it. That's what you need. Expensive. I don't think it's bad.
Gabe, they're $900.
I'm not 700.
Jesus, you weren't gonna let me put my nose on it?
No, don't touch that thing. If that's been anywhere in Gabe's
Yeah, and then
mouth
he-
or nose, don't
No,
put
he
it near
is.
you.
He's gonna charge you after, but it's like whatever.
So I wouldn't go near that fucking thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't go near.
So yeah, they are pretty cost prohibitive, unfortunately. However, they last for a very long time. Very, very long time. I still have my first CPAP machine from, I don't know, like a decade ago or something. And it still works. You know, I've upgraded since then because they've come out with new models and whatnot that are better, but you know, it still works. And it was definitely, it is covered by insurance a lot of the time too, depending on where you are, depending on the context. But it is something that like you could not have a better use of money. If you need this, like this is the game changer. Like any kind of nootropics, any kind of performance enhancing, anything, exercise, nothing you do could account for the improvement of your quality of sleep to where it needs to be if you're like totally healthy. This is like, I cannot overstate the importance of this enough, and it's hard for me to find opportunities to talk about sleep apnea in videos that'll actually get traction. So this is why I'm very glad this came up, because how often am I gonna get like a video where a celebrity is talking about fucking sleep apnea and how important it seems to be for me to actually like hammer this home.
Here, it's Gabe's fucking
crazy
thing.
things.
Stay away.
Yeah. Maybe you should game with it.
We don't want to kill. We don't want to kill Post Malone.
Is it on or not? No, you won't kill. It's oxygen. How are you gonna kill someone with oxygen?
I don't know. I mean,
It's okay. I just I like holding it.
Yeah, hold it.
I definitely feel like I feel better already.
They do say it does wonders though for you.
Yeah, it's literally like entering a haze, exiting a haze that you didn't even know you were in for fucking years.
I want to try it.
It
I mean,
does.
I guess, who do you talk to about this type of thing?
Gabe, no
Probably
idea.
just consult
guy,
the
yeah.
physician.
There are sleep doctors. I forget what their specialty is called. Like, you know, when you have, you know, endocrinologist, dermatologist. I forget what the sleep doctor is called. However, there are sleep specialists that will assess your sleep apnea, likely give you a pulse oximeter to bring home to actually assess your, your oxygen levels throughout the night. And if your oxygen saturation levels dip below a certain point and you have a certain like duration of apnea episode and there is a frequency that is concerning, you know, you'll get red flagged and go in for, they would likely recommend a sleep study where you then go into an actual like facility that is designed to assess with very, very conclusive and intricate detail the architecture of your sleep and how shitty it is and kind of diagnose you officially. And then from there, you would get probably prescribed a CPAP machine if it's bad enough. And I had severe obstructive sleep apnea to where it was like a no-brainer. Despite my young age, it was like so fucking clear as day. Oftentimes, the clients in these like sleep clinics are, you know, 40, 50, 60 years old. But for people who are in the fitness industry, bodybuilders, whatever it is, if you have a large neck, very common, even if you're lean. And for individuals who are overweight, regardless of your age, also very common. So be fucking careful, dude. Like a lot of people have no idea they have this until they have a partner that actually tells them and makes them aware. And it's like, you know, a lot of times the partner doesn't know either though. They just think you're annoying and you snore like a motherfucker. And they're like, oh, like that's brutal snoring, even though you're literally choking to death essentially.
I would consult a physician.
This is sick though.
Do you sleep? This is, I mean, it's a dumb question, but do you sleep well?
No, sir.
No,
I'm a terrible sleeper.
I am the worst sleeper.
Why do you
of all
think that
time.
is, though?
Size, body mass, guaranteed. Also, actual like structure of your everything. If you're predisposed, I guess is kind of like a weird word to say, predisposed to mouth breathing, but if the way you are positioning yourself, for example, encourages mouth breathing and you have your your mouth open, your tongue falls into the back of your throat. Like even if you're lean, it's still gonna fucking happen. So certain positions in bed, body mass, these are things that are all contributing. It's individual dependent. I know some massive people who don't have sleep apnea too, or you just have this like structural issue, or it could be an electrical signaling issue in some people too. You know, this is something that it's not gonna just fucking correct itself unless you make drastic changes and fix either whatever the root of the issue is, or you get a CPAP. And sometimes you need the CPAP even if you fix the root of the issue.
No, I'm super anxious all the time. And then I wake up and I don't feel good. Like I don't feel like 100%. And then throughout the day, I'm just like, oh man, I'm so fucking tired.
Do you drink a lot of caffeine?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but then I see like my friends, they're like, you know, everybody's doing their own shit. And then I'm like, I want to hang out with you guys, but I'm so beat. And
yeah, so if you're using, you know, caffeine to try and attenuate the, you know, sleep deficit you're perpetually in, like obviously at some point you're basically burning the candle at both ends. And it's like, while caffeine may offset the sleep-induced like performance limitations that you have in all capacities to some extent, like it's not going to be a band-aid that fixes the issue of you getting like shit quality sleep every night. So him saying he's always anxious, you know, emotional instability, being more depressed, like all of these things, like the impact of sleep on your mental state, as well as body composition outcomes and like everything about your fucking life is so massively impacted by sleep quality. It's insane. Like even going from 8 hours of quality sleep per day to like 5 or 6 can make the difference in your total testosterone levels of differentiating you from like a healthy young man and like a middle-aged or elderly man. Like that's how dramatic it can be. So for him, I'm sure his hormones are all, you know, have been had detrimental impact on them. I'm sure his mental state is far worse than it would be otherwise. I'm sure he's more emotionally unstable. I'm sure he's less likely to be just in a good mood, you know, by sheer lack of sleep quality. All of these things massively impacted, and it fucking sucks because a lot of people go their whole lives without even realizing it, and they end up with a heart attack. They end up with, you know, shit quality of life. They end up with worse body composition, like all of these downstream impacts that impact everything, you know, the relationships with people, worse quality, their communication skills, everything. It's all massively impacted by sleep.
And I'm like, you guys don't live necessarily a healthier lifestyle than me.
Yeah.
Why can't I hang in there with you? And on tour, it's just like, I used to be able to go and drink and party and hang out and shit, but now I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, it's not like when he's saying you don't have a better lifestyle than me, like you don't do better things than I do. You know, that could be true. And I'm not necessarily saying what he's done has got him to this point and like he fucked up or something. Like I had sleep apnea and continue to persistently have it. And I have like a structural issue. I don't have like an electrical signaling issue. For me, my tongue literally just falls into the back of my throat still when I'm sleeping. And I am a back sleeper. So again, if you're somebody who's comfortable on your back and that's just naturally where you lie, rather than somebody who lies on like their face essentially, if you're lying on your side and your face while you're sleeping, obviously your tongue is not going to naturally fall into the back of your throat. But if you're lying on your back the majority of the time you sleep, which some people just naturally do, and you can't like tell your brain to not fucking do that, your tongue might fall into the back of your throat and cause sleep apnea, even if you're shredded. So it doesn't necessarily, I'm sure his lifestyle choices don't help. Like obviously his body composition could be better, but it's also a vicious circle where the sleep is fucking up his ability to get a better body composition too. The impact on poor sleep on ghrelin and leptin modulation, which is your hunger hormone signaling versus your satiety signaling, so impactful. The likelihood, I think it's like just having like 5 or 6 hours a night versus 8, the impact on overeating was like an extra 300 calories a day, which equated to like 70,000 calories per year or something. I forget exactly what the statistic is that Matthew Walker, who's a great leading researcher on sleep research, and his book, Why We Sleep, also a great read, definitely recommend it. Or his Rogan podcast, excellent, concise summarizations of his research as well. But basically, like the probability that you overeat or choose poor food choices, so much higher when you're underslept too.
I can't. I like get off stage and I go to bed and I feel like a piece of shit. Like my back hurts, my legs hurt, and I don't know. I don't know if this will solve it, but I'm like,
what do you do? What do you do for the anxiety?
Okay, I just went to cross-reference the mathematical calculation on the extra calories eaten by individuals who are underslept, because I knew that sounded kind of weird, but 300 to 400 calories per day apparently is the actual metric that underslept individuals overeat by. and their choices in food selection are often much worse. So that equates to about 110,000 to 146,000 extra calories per year. And if you want to divide that by however many calories are in a pound of fat, you're looking at like an exorbitant amount of extra fat you could be packing on if you're in a surplus. Like if you're at maintenance otherwise, and that your undersleptness is what pushed you over the edge to be eating in a 300, 400 surplus this entire time. Obviously, you will have some metabolic adaptation where your NEAT changes and whatnot. But again, like your food choices are going to be poor, much worse too. Like you're looking at multiple extra pounds packed on insidiously just by your deprivation of sleep.
Are you a medicated guy or do you
No,
do
sir.
natural ways?
No, sir. I want to go and check it out, see if there's any way to help. But I mean, right now I just kind of hang out with it,
Right.
make it work.
So medications, like what is the best prescription you'd be taking for his, mental health, emotional state, etc. High quality sleep. The sleep apnea, that's got to get fixed, dude. Like this is 100% the root, like the main foundational backbone of everything that is related in your life to issues from a mental standpoint, a physical standpoint, blah, 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 is going to stem back to your sleep quality. And after that, you can dial things in above and beyond that, but this is like bare bones. This will be the biggest meat and potatoes fucking thing of your life that changes everything.
You have bad days like anybody else does.
Very much so.
Yeah, because when I have bad days, it's the worst. When you wake up, you just know it's that day. There's nothing. And then once in a while, I'll do an occasional Xanax to help. But at the end of the day, they say the Xanax is probably not the best
Sure.
These are all fucking Band-Aids, dude. All Band-Aids.
option.
Yeah.
Right.
It's I don't know.
Have you-
I'm just trying to make it work.
Has it always been like this for you, or is it something that's happened recently?
I feel like it was a more recent thing. I used to
Apparently he smokes like multiple packs of cigarettes a day too, which obviously doesn't help either.
smoke weed a lot.
Which destroys your REM sleep quality. It helps your sleep latency, but destroys your REM. Your quality of sleep goes to shit once you start relying on THC. A lot of people think like, oh, I get to sleep so much easier with it. Yeah, your actual time to fall asleep can improve, but after a while, your REM goes to absolute garbage and you end up reliant on that THC to actually get to sleep too, whereby you end up essentially just degrading your quality entirely. Not entirely, but it's like quite significant, the detriment to your quality of sleep once you get reliant upon THC. By the way, this machine, I don't know if this is actually CPAP or not. There are different types of machines. There's a automatic positive airflow pressure machine as well. APAP, there's also a bi-level positive airflow pressure machine, BiPAP. Now when it comes to CPAP, APAP, BiPAP, which one is, the most suitable for you? Talk to a sleep doctor. Don't just go by this video and be like, oh, CPAP's the one I need. Could be entirely different. Some people can't tolerate CPAP apparently, and they may be better off with BiPAP. This is something that may use a certain pressure for inhaling and a different pressure for exhaling. It's for people who can't tolerate CPAP machines or have elevated carbon dioxide levels in their blood. So obviously there are individual specific situations that warrant different kinds of medical interventions and machines. There are other options for sleep apnea too that are worth mentioning. Changing sleep position, like I said, if you can otherwise get out of a position that causes airway inhibition, you can maintain that. Great. There are oral appliances like Rogan uses. Hypoglossal nerve stimulation is another one. Neural stimulation, nutritional and exercise therapies. Obviously, that's something that would be, just losing weight. Very, very helpful, obviously. Surgery as well. Some people have deviated septums, get turbinate reductions. Some people have, tonsils and adenoids that are like overgrown and cause some airway inhibition apparently. I'm not saying to definitely do that, but it's something to at least look into. As well as some people, their jaws are so recessed that it's almost like covering their airway a bit, and you could otherwise get like a jaw like move forward procedure, whatever that would be called. I'm not exactly sure the exact name of the procedure, but there are a lot of options. But in general, getting it taken care of immediately, at least in the short term with a machine, probably the best bet and what a lot of sleep doctors, I imagine, would recommend. But worth looking into all of these solutions, like the impact. Again, I can't iterate enough. Quality of sleep, so fucking important for everything they're talking about.
Are you a hot sleeper?
Kind of a little bit.
I'm a hot sleeper too. This thing's I like it.
Hot sleeper, again, huge impact on sleep quality too, is the temperature of your room. If you need to drop it to, I don't know what it would be in Fahrenheit. I sleep at like 18, 19, something like that. And it is, if you sleep, you'll notice your sleep quality in the summer, if you don't have air conditioning, terrible compared to in the winter. Like there's a reason for it.
Rip that shit.
I like it.
I've been on it for 2 years.
I don't think he wants to rip
Really?
it. Like,
You should not try that one.
What? Yo, post.
I will. I definitely.
You're
will.
hesitant because it's
Dre,
gays
this
or
is
what's
Dre.
going on here?
I don't think-
He doesn't
Dre.
trust my nose.
yeah, he's,
Oh.
not missing, he's not missing anything by not doing it.
Imagine being like one of the podcast employees and they're like, give your fucking nose mask to Post. Just like, you let him stick his fucking schnoz in it, bro. And then you know, like right when you get home, you're gonna have to change it and hopefully you have another replacement one.
Dude,
Maybe get him a new tube or something.
Wait, so do you have? This is a fascinating subject to
it's
me.
scary.
Is that thing I'm done with?
Yeah.
Is there that
No
thing
more
is
sleep
just,
apnea shit, Gabe.
Would you ever?
Like obviously anybody would be grossed out sharing a fucking, airway machine with each other. So it would not be unreasonable for him to not want him to put his nose in it and try it out. Even if it's Post Malone, I'm sure Post Malone's quite understanding of the fact that you don't want to literally share fucking nasal juices and shit with each other. So anyways, hopefully he gets prescribed CPAP or whatever it is he needs and get this shit taken care of. I am quite certain it will be the biggest needle mover out of anything he can do, as well as losing weight, of course. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm. Much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemordates.com. Follow me on Instagram, @moreplacemordates, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below, including my preventative medicine, hormone replacement therapy platform, where we connect you with high quality doctors and medical providers who provide high quality oversight of your blood work, diagnostics, and create lifestyle interventions, dietary manipulation, sleep hygiene recommendations based on what will optimize your quality of life, your hormones, etc. We aren't just a cookie cutter TRT mill like a lot of other companies where they get you in the door, try and like as flexibly diagnose you with low T as possible, get you on a script of TRT, HCG, and anastrozole and kick you out the door and just make money on repeats of prescriptions. We actually care about imparting information on the consumer, and is what we pride ourselves on, staying up to date with the most up-to-date literature in endocrinology, pharmacology, endocrinology, and it's the same thing I try to do on this channel as well, keeping up to date with that literature. So you can check it out if you need a high-quality doctor. If you want to get self-service labs as well, you can do it through Merrick Health as well to get access to your own blood work. Even if you don't want to go through a doctor, you just order it yourself, show up at a LabCorp, whatever it is, and you can literally just get cost-efficient, high-sensitivity panels done, and panels that have been approved by me personally. Get your bloods checked. In addition, recommended diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance is in the video description as well, and anything else I'm associated with that supports me. It's all down there, and I will talk to you guys soon.